Welcome back to ACB Wrestling Talk, your main source for wrestling news and wrestling discussions. I'm, of course, your host, Alexis Carrillo, and let's get into some wrestling talk. With 2019 coming to a close and 2020 just a few days away, right here, right now, we're going to talk about some goals that, at least in my mind, each major company in North America has to set for themselves. Now, let me reiterate that this is in my opinion, this is my personal list. These are 5 things that I think that they should improve on or that I think should be their main goals for 2020. You might have a different one. That's all good and fine, but here are mine for the leader in sports entertainment, WWE. Number 1, Roman Reigns versus The Fiend, Bray Wyatt, in the main event of WrestleMania 36. In the main event of next year's WrestleMania, you need to further establish that, number 1, The Fiend, Bray Wyatt, is still your Universal Champion. He's still one of the main event guys in WWE, and, you know, they still have to protect the man's aura. They still have to protect The Fiend's mystique and aura. But let's not forget that the current face of the company right now is still Roman Reigns. And it's going to be hard to argue that WWE is going to want to place Roman Reigns in a major title match at the show of shows. So why not go with the biggest heel you've got on the SmackDown roster, the biggest heel that is so damn cool, so damn entertaining that he gets cheered, in Bray Wyatt, The Fiend, and pair him up with the face of the company, the top dog, the big dog himself, Roman Reigns. Now, one thing going against this is the fact that Bray Wyatt is so damn over with the crowd that he even gets a great crowd reaction that WWE might be hesitant to place him in, you know, that kind of role. Whereas, you know, in WWE's eyes, it might be face versus heel. In the fans' eyes, it might be super over face like Bray Wyatt versus face that, you know, gets mixed reaction in Roman Reigns. But at the end of the day, you have to pair the Joker, in this case The Fiend, with Roman Reigns. I'm not going to call him Batman, but he is the Superman of WWE. And right now, that is your biggest feud, your biggest rivalry heading into the show of shows for 2020. Number 2, and this goes on to continue my first point, establish full-time stars as the true main eventers. Okay, forget about Brock Lesnar, about Cain Velasquez, about Tyson Fury, about Goldberg, about The Undertaker, about Sting, whichever Triple H, it doesn't matter, forget about them. You want to use them? You want to use the part-timers, even John Cena, you want to use them? Go ahead, go right ahead, but place them as a complimentary match, as a complimentary star to the full-time roster. Stop putting them in main event positions when you know they're not going to last. Number 1, because of the schedule, and number 2, because of their age. Further establish The Fiend, Bray Wyatt, the big dog Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, Kevin Owens, Drew McIntyre, Braun Strowman, and many, many more as not only the full-time superstars, but the top stars in WWE. Establish that. Because there's a reason why ratings go down when you don't have part-timers on them. Because the message that WWE has been sending their fans for the past decade is that part-timers are the real stars, and they show up when they want to, and that's when you should tune in. In the meantime, you have the full-time superstars that are good enough, but not good enough to be the top guys. Establish the current full-time superstars, the guys that bust their ass day in and day out for the company, as the main eventers. That's number 2. Number 3, further define the lines that divide the brand extension. Okay, WWE, get this through your thick skull. Get this through your thick head. You've got 3 brands. You've got 3 teams. You got Raw, SmackDown, and NXT. Okay, stop this entire idea of, oh, I'm a manager, I can appear on Raw, SmackDown, and NXT. Forget that. Forget the stupid-ass wild card rule that they implemented right after the Superstar shakeup in 2019. Forget that. You wanna go tit for tat with AEW, who wants to be more sports centric? You go ahead and be sports centric as well. And make, Raw exclusive contracts, SmackDown exclusive contracts, NXT's exclusive contracts. Oh, and, start up a rumor mill show where you say, oh, this guy's contract is coming up with SmackDown. Should Raw and NXT make a move on them? Start doing that. That makes it interesting. That's another layer to each damn storyline, instead of relying on the fact, oh my god, ratings have gone down, we should bring in all these top guys and start off with a whole new Raw Super Show. Remember that? That didn't work so well, did it? Number 4, get rid of the gimmick pay-per-views. Get rid of Elimination Chamber. Get rid of the Money in the Bank pay-per-view. Get rid of Hell in a Cell. Get rid of TLC. Get rid of these gimmick pay-per-views that for years and years, year after year, they become crutches for the creative team. They become crutches. Look no further than this past year, Bray Wyatt versus Seth Rollins. Hell in a Cell, at the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view. Now, the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view, the Hell in a Cell match itself is supposed to be a career-ending, rivalry-culminating match. And in this case, it wasn't. Why? Because it came before they had any plans of ever finishing up this Bray Wyatt versus Seth Rollins feud. So what the fuck did they do? They ended it with a no contest. The fans chanted bullshit. They chanted AEW. That's the kind of response you get when you don't plan ahead. I'm fine. Bring back Hell in a Cell match and Money in the Bank matches and Elimination Chamber matches, but don't build pay-per-views entirely reliant on that. Or at least don't have as many as you do. NXT has one gimmick pay-per-view, and that's War Games in November. That works for them. Why not give it a shot? WWE, why not? And finally, number 5, develop your young up-and-coming stars. And this goes back to the fact of the part-timers. But you've also got this young up-and-coming stars coming up. You've got guys like Buddy Murphy, like Mustafa Ali, like Cedric Alexander, like Humberto Carrillo, like Aleister Black, like Andrade. Further develop their characters. Give them wins. Give them momentum. Stick to them. Don't just push, stop. Push, stop. That hurts their momentum. That hurts their character and the storyline in the fans' view. At least in my mind. Again, everything I say right here, right now, is in my opinion. And these are just 5 things that WWE should look to improve in 2020. But what the hell do I know? I'm a complete nobody giving my opinion on WWE. And I've been doing this for almost 2 years. So what the hell? Gonna keep on doing it because at the end of the day, I'm just a guy who loves to talk about professional wrestling, who loves sports entertainment, watching it, thinking about it, talking about it. That's just that, and I'm not gonna stop. So with that said, what do you think are the 5 things WWE should focus on for the year 2020? Leave them in the comments section below. That's it for me. See you next time.